9 out of 10 real estate agents will quit this business within the next 12 to 18 months. Now think about that. All that money you spent getting your license, all those hours in training, the dues, the licensing fees, and most agents are done before they ever give it a real chance. The reason has nothing to do with the market, nothing to do with their skills, and nothing to do with their brokerage. It comes down to one specific pattern. And once you see it, you'll know exactly which side of that statistic you want to be on. My name is Coach K. I've been in real estate since 2004, and my focus has always been getting brand new agents, people starting from zero, into full time with careers that genuinely take care of them and their families. After years of coaching those agents, I know exactly what separates the ones that make it from the 9 out of 10 who don't. A lot of this comes down to how new agents treat real estate. Most have a full-time job, and real estate is the side hustle. When something is the side thing, it gets treated like an afterthought, and an afterthought doesn't get a plan. But here's what makes it even more common. Some agents do build a plan, a real one, and they still don't make it. Not because the plan was wrong, but because they never actually worked it. Here's what typically happens. An agent starts working their plan, hits a difficult week, nobody responds, a streak of hard conversations, a deal that falls apart, and then they stop. Not out of laziness, but because there's nobody in their corner to help them work through it. The obstacle sits there unresolved and the business stops with it. What usually follows is a rotation. They drop the activity that felt like it was failing, find a new one, maybe a video of someone claiming they made 4 phone calls and closed 20 deals, and they chase that instead. When that doesn't produce either, they find the next thing. They ping pong from strategy to strategy, never giving any of them the volume or the time that they need to work. So here's what works, and it comes in 3 parts. First, you have to build the plan. Sit down and decide in writing exactly what activities you're going to go out and do to find business. Open houses, sphere calls, social media, door knocking. Pick what fits your schedule and put a specific number on each one of those activities. Then you gotta work the plan. And this is where most new agents lose their footing. So I wanna be specific on why. Real estate is a timing business. People move when the conditions in their life line up. A job change, a growing family, a retirement, and not a moment before. Your job is to be right in front of that person at the right time. The problem is that nobody moves before they're ready, and you don't control when that is. So the only way to find people whose timing lines up is to be in front of enough people that you increase your odds of landing one. That is what volume is for. Volume is the mechanism that solves a timing problem. Here's how this plays out in a real conversation. One of the most valuable questions to ask, whether you're talking to a sphere contact, a neighbor, or someone at an open house, is if you were to move again, where would you go next and when might that be? That question tells you 2 things: what they're looking for in the next home and the condition that has to be met before that move happens. You capture that information, you stay in touch, and you keep showing up until their timing is realized. The reason you keep showing up is that the timing moves faster than most people expect. Someone who says maybe in 3 years might be ready in 18 months. And if you've gone quiet, someone else gets that lead. But if you've been consistent, regular check-ins, market updates, the occasional message that keeps your name in front of them, you're the one they call when that time comes. That is volume and consistency working together. Here's the number that makes this concrete. When you commit to 100 conversations a single day, once a quarter, that's 400 conversations for the year. Now take that same calendar year and commit to 10 conversations every week. 52 weeks, 10 conversations each, that's 520, about 30% more. And you got there without a single heroic effort. What builds a pipeline is not one big push followed by silence. It's showing up at volume regularly over time. Agents who treat that like a standing weekly commitment are the ones still standing at the end of year 1. That's also what's underneath the ping pong pattern. When an agent switches activities one after another after one slow week, they're not reacting to a failing strategy. They're reacting to a timing problem that they didn't give enough volume to solve. There's an old adage I come back to constantly in my coaching. All production problems are solved with volume and consistency. You don't need a better lead source, and you don't necessarily need a smarter approach or a different script. Volume and consistency will produce business even if your leads aren't perfect and your system isn't completely dialed in. You see this with agent after agent who made it past year one, not because they had the best tools, but because they stuck with it. And that's the true key right there. Now, here's your one move to take away from this video. Open a blank document and write down 2 or 3 specific activities you're going to commit to for the next 90 days. And put a specific number on each one. Not, I'll call my sphere, but rather, I'll make 10 sphere calls every Monday before I leave work. Or you could say, I'll run 1 open house every Saturday, or I'll make 5 calls on my lunch break 3 days a week. Match the activity to the time you actually have, whether that's around a job, a family, or both. Then protect that time like it's an actual appointment that matters. Everything we talked about today gets a whole lot easier when you're not building the plan alone. But knowing what to do when the plan starts producing clients, real transactions, and real decisions, that's where most new agents feel completely alone or lost. What I'm building right now is a coaching community specifically for newer agents, 5 deals or less. Regular calls, small group sessions, and real support on what it takes to get through your first year in production. It's in the development stage right now. If you're a new agent who is serious about making this work, I want to talk to you. Click the link in the description below. Let's book a call and let's talk about where you are in your business. I know the community isn't fully built yet, and that's the point. The agents who get on the call with me now are the ones who get in first, help shape what this becomes, and get direct access while it's still small. Click the link in the bio and let's have that conversation. And if you aren't ready to set up that call with me yet, that's okay. Come find me when you're tired of doing this alone. I'll be here waiting for you. Be sure to like and subscribe in the meantime if you haven't already. I'm Coach K. I'll see you in the next video.